Hello everybody, welcome back. Like the video states, today I'm going to try and do just a little test on store and forward. So, in store and forward is the ability for Meshtastic to store messages when one node is offline, and when it gets back online, it can retrieve all the messages that were stored. So I have three devices here. This is a T114, and on the right is a T114, and I put the little numbers on there, the node numbers, so I can easily find them in the list. So these are two T114s, and I'm just going to reset them, and you can see these are just default little Meshtastic nodes. And I'll show you a configuration on the PC in a second here. And there's the second one. They're both booting up. Now, these two nodes are just standard nodes. I'll show you in the configuration in a second. Then in the middle, I've got this node, which is a Heltec V4. Now, the Heltec V4, the reason why I'm using this guy is because it has, and if you can see on this configuration screen over here, it has what's called PSRAM. So once it has that PSRAM, it can be used as a store and forward server. These other guys, they don't have PSRAM, I take a second or two to get going. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get this guy onto that same screen. Yeah, they do not show PSRAM. So with T114, for instance, you just see channel utilization. You don't see that it has this extra screen with the heap and PSRAM and a flash. So I don't think the T114s can do it. And that's why I'm using this. You need a device, this is Heltec Heltec V4, but you need such a device that contains PSRAM to use store and forward. So so the first configuration is what I've done here, and let me show you on the PC quickly. Right. So here on the PC you can see the first test I want to do is on a private network. So here's the server, which is that Heltec V4. Then I got the two clients on the sides. And then here's the version numbers, of a installed. But I put this on a private channel, meaning I chose slot 25, which is 908.125. I made channel 0, I called it test, and I just used AQ equals, and here is the store and forward settings. You can see for the server, I've enabled server and I've given some values, but you can play around with this. So this is the first test I want to do was, it's on a private network completely. And then I want to do the second test where it's on a public network, meaning I'm going to go back to the default slot 20, 906.875, and I'm going to use long fast and see if I can make it work over there on these version numbers. So at the moment, this is what these three are set up for. So let's see. Let's go to the test now, and I am going to go into the first node, and this is 26D8, and you can see I have so many things over here, and let's go into chat and we see there's a public channel, because I called the public channel test, and I can just send a message test, and these guys, you can see that this one is saying, hey, I received a message. We can see two nodes. There's the word test. So it received it. if I go look at let's go to this 884F node. I think there it is. If I go into 884F and then I see bing, there's a new message test, and that came from 26D8. So it received that message. The server also received it. So if I went into the 9040 node, which is the server in the middle, if I went into that guy, let's see, bing, there's a message received test. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this guy, I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to hold the button for like 6, 7, 8 seconds. This 884F is saying shutting down, and it's actually going to shut down now, hopefully. Yep, it's dead. Okay, so now let's go back to 26D8. So this is just a little test I'm doing. So I'm going to go to 26D8, and that is that one. Let's go into this node again. And where's the message when I send test? But now I'm going to say test when 884F is off. I'm going to send that message. Now obviously 884F, this guy, did not receive that message. You can see it was delivered. So if I go into 9040, which is the server, this is one in the middle, I can see, yep, there's a new message, test when 884F is off. So that one's off. So the message is on here and it's on here. Now I'm going to turn 884F on. So we'll have to give it a few seconds to boot up. You can see it's booting up. So 884F is coming up. Right. We have to give it a second or two because these T114s takes a few seconds to start syncing and get responsive or whatever. But let's go to 884F. Let's go look at our messages. And the last message we received here was test. It knows nothing about this message that happened in between when it was off. So, but now that it's on, I'm going to direct message this guy in the middle, the LoRa, the Explorer, the 9040. I'm going to direct message it, and I'm going to say SF. And we can see something happens. It goes total messages 2, history which in the 600, and now I go back into test, and there is the message. Now it duplicated the top message because it didn't know that I received it, so it's duplicating some messages, but it also sent me the new message, test when 884F was off. So now when I came online, I asked the server, please give me SF, give me everything from store and forward. The server is going to respond. If it has something for me, it will respond. And there it goes. Since you last requested, I have no new messages for you. 0 new messages. Okay? And I can see on the channel, that's it. So that's the basics of how store and forward works. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to not be on a private network, because, you know, currently the only nodes in the world are these 3, 884F, 9040, and 26D8. That's because they're on a private network. But I'm going to change them now to be on the public network. And then let's do the test again. Okay, so now I'm on the public configuration, the second test. And you can see that these nodes are now starting to discover. I'm currently connected to one of them, I think 9040, and you can see it's starting to discover other public nodes. It is no longer a private network. It is this network is now connected to the wider mesh. It's using the, if I go into configuration, if I look at the LoRa configuration, and sorry, I just rebooted them. It takes a few seconds to get going. So you can see it's on default slot 20, 906.875, and you can see that the channels is no longer, sorry again, it's pretty busy now that it's discovering all these new nodes. And you can see now it's long fast, like I showed in the configuration. It's the default channel now. So this is the public channel. So I am currently connected to this guy. Let me do the same test. I'm going to connect to 26D8, which is the one on the right. I can also see that it's discovering all new nodes everywhere. But this time I'm going to send a public message over long fast. And I can actually, you know, those are the older messages. Let me delete those. And I'm going to go on long fast and say testing. So now, remember, I am sending these messages into the wider mesh. It is no longer just between these three devices. Other people can see my channel 0 long fast. So I'm saying that to the whole world at the moment, because it's a public channel, long fast. Okay, now let's go connect to 9040, the one in the middle. Let's see if it read that public message over the public channel, the long fast channel. So, and we can see, there it is, testing. Okay, those are the older messages when it was still private, channel 0 was still private, but now we can see it's public. And let's connect to the last one, which is 884F. And that guy is down here somewhere. There we go, 884F. Let's connect to that guy. And we can see, and I'll just delete these messages for now, but we can see there's testing. But again, this now went over the wider network. So we're going to do the same test now. We're going to connect to 26D8. We're going to turn off this guy, 884F. So it's going to say shutting down. So now I'm going to send another message testing 2. Again, I'm sending this over the wider mesh. We receive it on all the devices, and everybody's receiving that message at the moment from me. But so if we go look at 9040, which is the device, the server in the middle, if we go to 9040, there it is. If we go look at the messages, we see that there's one new message over the public Wi-Fi that goes testing 2. Okay, over, not Wi-Fi, public LoRa, which is testing 2. So now let's turn this guy on. We're going to turn 884F on again. And let's give that a second to boot up. So it's booting. Okay, let's go see if we can connect to 884F. 884F, there it is. And let's go look at messages. We can see that the last message was testing. It does not know about testing 2. Now I'm going to go to the same procedure. I'm going to go to my server, which is 9040. There it is, 9040. And I'm going to ask this one a direct message. and I'm going to say give me SF, store and forward. And it says S and F not permitted on public channel. So it does not work on the default long fast public channel. Okay, so now the last gist I'll do, I'll create a new channel on all of these devices. So I'm going to go in here and say there's channels. I have long fast. I'm going to create a channel 1, and I'm going to call that one SF, and I will just use the default AQ just because I'm not going to remember anything else, equals equals. So I created a channel 1 on this device now, a 9040. So let me go do that on the others, and I'll show you that test. Okay, I'm connecting to the guy on the right. I'm going to go in here, but I'm not going to send on channel 0. I'm going to send on the private channel test. Right? So that's on channel 1. So let's connect then to 9040, which is the server, and see if it received it. And that's, you know, if you create a private channel like that, you can put your own encryption key so nobody can read your messages. That's the idea behind a separate channel. So channel 1, it's received this message, test. Long fast, there's still no messages there, but it's received on this SF channel, it's received the word test. So, and let's go look at the last guy, that's 884F, and just make sure it also received the message, and it did. It received test. So same test, we're going to turn this guy off, and we're going to connect to 26D8. So this guy, you can see it's powering off now, shutting down. So I'm connected to 26D8 again. I'm going to go into channel 1, and I'm going to say test when 884F is off. Oops, off. No, not odd, off. There we go. So we can see it gets sent. Yep, it was delivered. If I go look at my 9040 server, a machine and my server in the middle, let's go see. And we can see there's the new message on the private channel of channel 1 that says off. So I'm going to turn this guy back on now. Let's get this one going. It's booting up. So there's the message. Test when it was off. So let's go look at, this is 884F. Let's go look at that one. And it is loading. Right. And we can see the last message received on channel 1 was test. So let's do the test. We're going to find our server, which is 9040. You can just search for it here, because now there's many other nodes, 9040. So I'm going to direct message it, and I'm going to say SF, store and forward. And let's see what it does. It does nothing. And again it says SNF not permitted on the public channel. Okay, I'm going to go in the store and forward and type SF in here just for interest sake. We can see it's received everywhere, the SF. But because these devices are set up with long fast as the default channel, it does not want to do store and forward. if I'm connected to, I'm currently connected to, let's go connect to 9040, and let me just show you the configuration. So again, I can only get store and forward to work when it is on a private channel 0, and so that's the only way I can get it to work. So let me just go look at store and forward settings. There's nothing in here that specifies which channel to use or anything. So that's what I can do with store and forward. It's private network. If anybody knows how to make it work on channel 1 and when it's public, let me know. But the only way I at the moment I can make it work is if it's private, and if it is not long fast, is not channel 0. Okay, so thank you for watching. I know it's a bit long, but these tests does take a bit of time. Thank you.